Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Which film is better? I'm Garth. With me is my good friend and Sabacc rival, Ken.
Hello.
Welcome to Sabacc Chat. We'll be playing Sabacc, chatting about Star Wars. Please join us. But enough of the introduction. Ken, let's play Sabacc. Cheers.
Cheers.
Do you have blue milk there?
Yeah, you?
Just beer.
Oh, I thought we were doing this blue milk thing together. But alright.
I thought The Force Awakens was a way better film than Rogue One. Reason being because of the better storytelling. It was way more cohesive, way better music. I actually made a list of reasons.
Cool. Well, there were high expectations for The Force Awakens. With 10 years between Revenge of the Sith and The Force Awakens, and only 1 year between The Force Awakens and Rogue One, there was considerably less pressure on Rogue One. And not only that, but Rogue One is being sandwiched between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi just 1 year later. So there was more leeway for Rogue One to be experimental, which it did take advantage of in some ways. Risks like fully CGI human beings, little expository dialogue, and Boar Gullet, the mind-reading octopus. How much more risky can you get than a mind-reading octopus?
I did not like that octopus.
But who would have thought Saw would have obtained such an octopus in the desert of all places? I'll raise 100. We want to know where Saw got that, where he got Boar Gullet.
Call. I was not a fan of that scene. It felt out of place, unnecessary, and frankly silly. I'm shocked that to defend Rogue One, you lead off with Boar Gullet.
It's just an example of how they didn't play it safe. I like a film that takes risks. Star Wars: A New Hope was risky. The Force Awakens copied elements of the original trilogy. But Rogue One was actually experimental and took some risks. In some ways, it captured the same mystery of the original. Boar Gullet is strange. How does it read minds? Is it going to drive Bodhi insane?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no shit.
Check.
Look at the Dianoga from A New Hope. That creature was mysterious. What does it look like? The audience wanted to know, but it couldn't get a clear view. Boar Gullet is the same. It attacks the mind, and we don't know what it's up to. And then you have The Force Awakens, which has its own tentacled creatures, the Rathtars. But you will notice, without the mystery. We literally see them on security footage. They were caught on camera. I'll bet 300.
Interesting. Octopuses make good aliens because they're water creatures and humans are land creatures. They're naturally foreign. Call 20,000. Call 300. Did you ever see 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that giant squid attacked those sailors.
Right.
Yeah, that was scary back in the day. Ray Harryhausen fans will know that movie It Came From Beneath the Sea, which, well, that movie pioneered stop motion special effects. There's also Gazora, the space amoeba from 1970. That's not Gareth Edwards' Godzilla.
Yeah, and there was that tentacle movie.
Which one?
That sci-fi one? Oh, not doubles. Close.
Anyways, I don't think Boar Gullet provides the same mystery as the Dianoga, just because we actually see Boar Gullet, whereas the Dianoga is more like the shark in Jaws or the T-Rex leading up.
From Jurassic Park?
Yeah. Boar Gullet is CGI, which wasn't that great. Using real props would have been risky. I'll bet 400. Or even better, stop motion animation. You know the early kind with the harsh staccato movement?
They actually had this puppet ready to go, but at the last minute decided it wasn't threatening enough. Take it. I fold. But the close-up shots of Boar Gullet's eyes are that puppet. In The Force Awakens, they didn't even attempt a puppet for the Rathtars, did they? And the CGI for the Rathtars might be even worse than Boar Gullet.
Yeah, well, we've said Boar Gullet now about 15, 20 times.
That's true.
Let's take a step back and we'll worry about Paul the mind-reading octopus who predicted soccer games another day.
Paul? Oh, you mean that octopus. He didn't read minds. He just predicted soccer games. Wasn't he in Attack of the Clones? No, Paul the octopus.
Not that I know of.
Oh.
Line, please. Don't forget the Sabacc pot. Anyway, overall I get what you're saying. Rogue One generally takes more risks. Maybe that's true, but are they successful risks? Getting attacked by tentacles is pretty standard fare in Star Wars. Lando gets attacked above the Sarlacc pit. Luke, Finn, I think even C-3PO gets tentacled at one point.
It's true.
It's a part of life. Rey will probably get attacked by a tentacled sea creature in Octo. And it would probably be like that scene in Lord of the Rings where Frodo gets attacked. Maybe Luke has to jump in with his lightsaber and save her. Anyways, make it 200.
Everything in The Force Awakens, including the tentacles, is safe. Everyone dies in Rogue One for Paul's sake. That's not safe. They don't die by tentacles, but that's not safe.
No shift. No shift this time. Well, that would have been awesome if they had died by tentacles. Just one long tentacle extends from the Death Star and smushes them.
I'll check.
Check. Or no, wait, sorry, no, I don't check. I bet. I'm going to bet. I bet 400, but let me...
Okay, I'll call.
Okay, let me get to my list of reasons why The Force Awakens is better than Rogue One. So it's episode 7. I have number 7.
7? Did you just draw 7?
No, I'm doing a list.
Because that would give you 23? No, 22.
No, maybe I have 7, but I'm saying 7 with respect to something other than the game.
But you're still playing the game, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, 8 would be ideal, actually, if you do that. But, okay, so I get what you're saying. You're doing a list. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so number 7 is real relationships. There's romance, friendship, and the mentor of Han Solo to Rey. The mentor has been crucial to previous Star Wars movies. No shift. Even the Clone Wars had the mentor, Anakin and Ahsoka. Then you have Rogue One, which has no mentor. The characters, with the exception of Beige and Chirrut, don't even seem to like each other. They're basically being forced to be together. Another 400.
I think Rogue One has relationships. Jyn has relationships. She learns to trust. Remember, she gives K2 her blaster. Cassian saves her. I'd say those are friendships.
Yeah, but where's her mentor?
Why are you so hung up on the mentor?
This is only number 7. Just bear with me. Number 6, okay? Lack of lightsaber duels. Every other Star Wars film has a lightsaber duel.
Well, Rogue One has an awesome ending featuring a lightsaber. It just wouldn't have made sense to somehow incorporate a lightsaber duel. You know, I get it. You wanted to pad your list. Maybe Jin's mother, who in an early draft of the script was a Jedi, could have dueled Darth Vader. But I'm glad they did not do that.
That ending in the hallway was an afterthought. They filmed it at the last minute and in about 3 days. I guess it was just something they realized was missing, and Star Wars fans really wouldn't like that. It was fan service, is what it was. And, by the way, it bugs me that Vader didn't grab those plans with the Force out of the guy's hand. He keeps the door closed with the Force and throws people around, but he forgets he's there to get the dang plans. Check it.
I thought maybe Vader didn't see the plans there.
He saw them.
See, I'm trying to grab your list, and I can't get it. Launch! Okay, let's roll here. 5.
Number 5, familiar faces.
But it's 5.
The number
5.
is irrelevant. It only matters if it's doubles.
Can't possibly be doubles.
I'll place it back here. 100, because I think you have garbage. We get to see Han, Chewie, Leia, 3PO all back in action again. These are some of the most beloved characters in cinema history. And Han shoots Chewie's bowcaster, you gotta love that.
Call. Yeah, I agree. That was a great scene. Unfortunately, what he shoots is fish in a barrel in terms of fan service. It's like they looked at their action figures and went, how about Han holds Chewie's weapon? Also, the gang isn't really back together. Luke and Han don't hang out. Han and Leia are estranged. And hey, where's Lando at?
Gambling.
Probably.
Number 4, depth of story. Rogue One follows one story. The story of how the Death Star plans were stolen. There's no biography. There's no rise and fall. I mean, look at the title. You have one and a. That's 2 singular articles by my count. I'll do 400. That's why we get to know very little about the characters. Little is said about their history. They don't transform. That's all supplemental to this one story. One story. The Force Awakens is different. It tells several stories. Kylo Ren trying to find Luke, Rey's abandonment.
Rey's.
Luke's failure as a mentor, Finn's defection from the First Order, Starkiller Base. What is that?
Raised to 800. You know, I like a simple story. You start all these plot lines and they end up just being unresolved. Dozens of unanswered questions. I like a few mysteries, but okay. Dozens and dozens? At least Rogue One doesn't leave us hanging.
Rogue One leaves you hanging if you haven't seen the other movies. You got me, nice bluff. It's probably the most reliant on other Star Wars movies in the franchise.
18.
It beat me.
You probably had garbage, didn't you? I know because you're about to draw.
It's true. The draw. All of it. Now, number 3. We're getting into the big ones here. The special effects. BB-8, I could watch this guy for hours. Tarkin, probably best I didn't see him more than I did.
What? Tarkin was awesome. So corrupt, he even stole credit for the Death Star. Too bad it couldn't be the real Peter Cushing himself.
Good luck. This is Sabacc. I would have liked to have seen CGI Tarkin do a prequel to 1958's Dracula and reprise his role as Dr. Van Helsing, featuring CGI Christopher Lee as Count Dooku. Set back when Von Helsing was a young Jedi hunter who helped the Empire? I call.
So that's a Star Wars movie, or
Either.
I'll raise 100.
Tarkin could have been a Jedi hunter in his early years. Before Dooku fell to the dark side, he could have hunted him. That's how he gained such favor with the Empire, perhaps. Dracula is roughly the same. You know, make it 300.
That's strangely close to being acceptable canon.
2 big ones left. No shift. Number 2, coherence. Even though the plot of Rogue One is more straightforward with fewer twists and turns, somehow it seems more jumbled and uneven.
I'll check. Jumbled and uneven? Well, I think that's because of the reshoots.
Probably. The flow just isn't there. I'll do classic 300. And that brings me to number 1, heart. Is it just me, or is it a little weird that everyone dies at the end of Rogue One?
Okay, I'll call 300.
Call, okay. But Jyn had her whole life ahead of her, and then she just dies? Compare that kind of weirdness with, for example, Poe Dameron's fighting spirit.
Don't let these thugs scare you.
Oh, I love that line. Don't let those thugs scare you. That's what I tell myself when I sit down at the Sabacc table. Not, what does Jyn say? What chance do I have? What choice do I have? Because when your back's against the wall and you have no choice, I guess you die?
Again, it's a daring and unexpected risk that they all die. Rogue One helps bolster the first Star Wars and sheds new lights on old ideas. Check. Even forgetting about the obvious tie-ins, like how Galen implanted the Death Star's weakness, or how Bail Organa arranged that the plan should get to Obi-Wan. These are all brilliant, but did you notice the subtle tie-ins? Like how Vader tells Krennic that Jeddah was destroyed in a mining accident. Alderaan here. He just callously rewrites history. That helps explain how the Jedi were so far removed from people's minds only 20 years later, and how Shurit, blind, uses the Force. That foreshadows Obi-Wan's use of the blast shield in training Luke. Rogue One is filled with these subtle tie-ins. Not exact frame-for-frame copies of elements of A New Hope, they're complementary.
Rogue One is mostly pointless filler.
What?
No, hear me out. Did we need to know how the Death Star plans were stolen? Does it really, as you say, bolster Episode 4?
Yeah.
Or does removing the mystery dampen it? It almost goes against George Lucas's original idea of throwing you into a story mid-adventure. Like, the Flash Gordon adventures. For me, the less mystery there is, the less interested I am in it, right? The less there is to speculate about. That's the best part of Star Wars. Don't shove answers down our throats we don't need or didn't ask for.
Oh, haha, 22.
Very good.
So, what do you guys think? Which film is better? Leave us your opinion in the comments below. Looks like I beat you, Garth. I think you got a little bit greedy. Well, thanks for watching another episode of Sabacc Chat. Tune in next time where we play Sabacc and we probably have a chat.
I lost everything.
Whenever you gamble, my friend,